Hey, welcome to another episode of Inquiring Minds. I am Steve Harper, and with me is my amazing, illustrious, and beautiful co-host, Donna Carlin. Donna, how are you doing?
Okay, what are you on? Just checking here. I'm
Significant amount
doing
of caffeine. How about that?
perfect. Yeah, I was looking for some intravenously
Some
this
sort of
morning, but
stimulant.
nobody
No,
replied.
all of that is
Yeah.
accurate and true. I have to give you props. I was actually doing a podcast earlier this morning for my own for my other show, the Ripple Effect podcast, and I was talking about and this then we'll jump into the topic. But I was giving you high praise because of this show and how you've helped me sort of find my own footing and my own confidence to be at the table with you every week, and how I was a little bit nervous when you proposed the idea about doing this, and how far I've come to in just my own personal journey. But when you first approached me about this show, it's like I don't know. You're like super smart, and I'm not. So I mentioned you. That episode will be out soon. I'll send you a link so you can smile, and then you can throw a hockey puck at me later. But
Okay.
anyway, what are we talking about today?
So I want to put a bookmark in what you just said for a future show before we
Okay.
go into the topic, because often people see us in a light that we don't see ourselves in. And I've been hearing more of that. It's not really imposter syndrome. It's more, I don't understand how they see me like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And rather than fight it, what if you embraced it and actually became more of what they're seeing in you? Because there's a reason why they say that they see that in you. And I think we should explore that in the new year.
Agreed. Yeah, I think so. That'd be good. I'd be a little fearful of how people see me. So, but I'm open to exploring the conversation. How about that?
I think you'd be absolutely surprised at what people see in you and would invite you to listen.
That would be good. That you would have to teach me to do that. So that would be a
I will
great
do that.
episode. That could
Okay.
actually be that could be a series of episodes. I think probably.
Yeah.
But what are we talking about today? I think that's an excellent suggestion. But we have one on tap for today. What is that?
So that is something that you suggested, actually, that New Year's resolutions won't work without resolve.
Ah, yes. This actually was a topic that was presented to us by a listener who's recently found our show and is absolutely loving it. And as we're coming into, this end of the year, everybody starts thinking about, okay, I got to get busy with my New Year's resolutions, and I need to start goal planning and setting some objectives and milestones for myself. And their real intent was, I set resolutions every year, but they don't work. Why is that? And so, this I thought was a really fascinating topic because I think it's top of mind. You hear all sorts of, you'll get all this buzz in December and January about New Year's resolutions and why it's important, why it's critical for you to do it, and yet by the third or fourth week of the month of January, people have already fallen off their exercise plan, or they've gone back into some of the same old habits, or they've long forgotten what they set, as an intention on, December 31st. So, part of the title of this was, how do you do that without you got to have resolve in order to see this through to, conclusion, right?
I think that in some ways we're having the wrong conversations. A lot
Yeah.
of people that I speak to don't set New Year's resolutions anymore because they keep saying life gets in the way.
Yeah.
And, I talk about intentions equal results, and they're more immediate rather than goal setting. Set an intention for the day because you could control today.
Yeah.
To look at a month out, a year out, that's really hard because life does get in the way. So I would ask you to really focus on, what do you want to feel? What do you want to be? Not what do you want to do,
Yes.
first of all. So if I want to feel energized, I know that there's certain things that I'm going to have to do in order to feel that way. And if it's important for me to feel energized, and as the older you get, the more you seek energy, it's managing energy more than time in many ways. Then I know there's certain things that I won't do. I won't eat carbs because if I cut out carbs, I will have double the energy. That's me.
Ooh.
That's how I process. So I'm much more alert. I drink a lot of water. All these things, though, also speak to healthy healthy stuff.
Sure.
So you could cut out carbs, but what are you replacing that with?
Yep.
Again, as you get older, you tend to be a little bit either more careful or just throw caution to the wind and do whatever you want because you've already made it to whatever age you're at.
Yep. Yep.
The point is, Bob Keegan, who we spoke to at the Harvard Institute of Coaching, really coined the phrase immunity to change. And he has a course on that. What I love about it is all the stories that go on in our heads to stop us from actually going after that intention or that goal or New Year's resolution. And to have those conversations with ourselves. What are we really telling ourselves and why are we telling it? Are we feeling as if we are having to sacrifice something that we love in order to get healthier? Why don't we focus on getting healthier and how great we're going to feel then? Not what we're having to give up and, never touch it again. That doesn't work. It's figuring out the myths and the stories we tell ourselves that sabotage even the possibility of success because we have that inner speak before we even dive in.
Yeah.
And then we beat ourselves up because we're not honoring what our intentions are.
Yeah, and it's a downward spiral because when you start beating yourself up, you start feeling like a failure. You start having this negative inner dialogue that just tells you you're not going to achieve yet another thing, and that just compounds, right? And it doesn't set your year off on the right foot, right? For sure. But I think it's really interesting. The thing that you said that really speaks to me is the feeling in what that's what you really should be striving for. It's not the thing, it's not the doing, it's the what will happen when I get there. What's my outcome, and what would I like to experience and feel it when I achieve that, right? And that's a vastly different approach to I need to increase my company sales, and I need to, add two more customers a month, and I need to grow my revenue by X percentage. And those are all great things, but they're just things. What will that really mean in terms of your confidence as a leader? How will your team enjoy that added success? What would that additional revenue mean to your organization in terms of, the possibility for adding bonuses or increasing salaries? And how will that feel when you get there? So there's ways to deconstruct these things in a way that gives you a little bit different perspective, and maybe a little bit more motivation to be resolute in achieving it.
Exactly right. And everything that you mentioned has a ripple effect. And the ripple effect is an incredible feeling of gratitude and joy and whatever term you want to put to it. And then people start wondering, where's the other shoe going to drop? Right? Because it can't be like this all the time. We're in such a volatile society right now. Things turn on a dime. The point that I'm making here is, what is the ripple effect that goes beyond you? One of the greatest ripples that I've experienced actually was Richard Branson's arm of Virgin Unite, which is not for profit to support great initiatives that really impact society. And he does things a little bit differently. You want to come to me for money, because something's going to fail and you can't let it fail because society needs it. No problem. I will support it. However, you're going to change your business model so that the minute you start making money, it doesn't go into your pocket. It goes in paying it forward to creating another initiative that will further impact society.
Yep.
And so it goes. The ripple effect goes outwards, not inwards.
Yeah.
And because people know that not only are they saving the gym or whatever in rural Africa, but every gym that they have a successful result goes to pay for AIDS clinics
Yep.
so that people are their healthcare is taken care of, and so on and so on. So it gives them the impetus to do even more because they know the ripple effect is even more powerful to people who don't have, what they have.
Yeah.
And how do we view our intentions? Our intentions, if they're inwardly focused, and we let ourselves down, we tend to do that way more easily than if we let somebody else down.
Yes.
Think about that. So the resolve is not only maybe to get healthier, but what if you added to that resolve to get healthier? So I'm around for my kids, my grandchildren, my spouse, my friends, my family longer in a healthy way so they could enjoy me being healthy and not have to, support me because I'm sick.
Yeah. That's
Take it
that. I like
broader.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's a great approach, and I do, it kind of reminds me of sort of the origin story of Tom's, the sock company. I think that's the correct name.
Yep.
No, sorry, Bamba socks. Tom Shoes does
Okay.
the same thing, but
Tom Shoes does it.
they
Yeah.
both, both the organizations, have a goal of selling a shoe or a sock, and when they do, one provides it to third world countries, and the other provides it to people in need, right? In
Mhm.
shelters, homeless,
Yep.
etc. And the I read somewhere the impetus of that original idea came from Richard Branson. Rather than absorb this, hey, become this great shoe company and make millions and millions of dollars and be successful and invest that in a bigger house and a yacht and all this, the trappings of successful entrepreneurship. uh, the inspiration was, no, take that money and give it back. And through giving back, you actually are going to grow your business because of the contributions that you're making, the impacts you're making out there in the world, the ripples that you're creating, like you said. And really, at the end of the day, it's not about moving product, it's about moving people and making a difference. And how much more rewarding is that in the long term, both for those founders, but their teams? You have a purpose, and there is that feeling of showing up every day and really appreciating the opportunity to contribute in whatever capacity that might be, but making a difference. And I think that's, it's an interesting take. Now that's, from a business kind of altruistic, way and approach to looking at your business. But the same could be true back to your example about, why you want to get healthy. Maybe it is, maybe that long range goal about, hey, I want to be around, and I want to be around for my
Mhm.
grandkids. I want to be able to enjoy those experiences. Those things almost become sort of second nature to the goal. But what about making something a little bit more immediate? Like, I really want to enjoy some time with my son before they have their first kid, and I want to plan a big hike that he doesn't know we're doing. But when I get healthy, I'm going to feel confident to be able to do this trip, and suggest that we go for 2 weeks on this, the Pacific Coast Trail or the Appalachians Trail, just to experience that, so that we can really connect and really bond. And how great that would be. Now you're connecting what I need to accomplish in the short term and what the benefits will be in the long term, but then setting some small intentional goals along the way, or those milestones that, by putting in the work and the effort now, look how great and how much more I'm going to enjoy that experience when I set this shorter term kind of reward opportunity up. Plus, it's going to make him feel great, and it's going to be this great, bonding experience. I think that you could look at any of these things that you might be inclined to set as a resolution, whether it's at the end of the year or at any point. Like you said, there doesn't have to be a timetable limit to it. But when you start to set that, I think that feeling piece is really good. And then setting some, sort of milestone rewards or opportunities to really enjoy and feel that experience helps ground whatever it is that you're really committed to accomplishing.
It's it's really fascinating to look at the systemic ripple that happens with things. For those who don't do hikes or can't, say you like to read.
Yeah.
I love to read. I wish I had more time to read non work related books, more fiction, because I get lost in fiction, and you know I I can't turn the light off. I'll just keep reading until another chapter kind of thing. And what I discovered by accident, looking for a book that I came across by accident, was a book that was out of print since 2012. So I started looking in secondhand book sites to see if I could find more copies. So I wanted to gift them to our girls. And what was amazing was I came across Better World Books, and I might have told you about this organization. And the
Oh,
reason I'm telling you this is because it's influenced how I purchase books. I am the first one to go to my Amazon app and just click buy now, for sure. Since I found out about Better World Books, I look there first because they have new books and they have used books. And if I could
wow.
save a book from a landfill, I
Yeah.
will do that. And it tells you what condition it's in, free shipping anywhere in the world. The cool thing is, it was started
Wow.
off by two students at university who couldn't afford textbooks, and they looked around for used books from the class from the year before, and they decided to have a book sharing company while they were in university, which just grew in leaps and bounds to this organization. Every a portion of every dollar they make goes to fund literacy programs around the world,
Oh,
and
that's
they've
awesome.
donated over 7 million, last time I looked, 7 million books around the world, and reading programs. So what they're doing is they're changing the relationship of books to people, just by you buying a book at a regular cost with no shipping charge. I don't know how they get away with that, because to ship overseas it's going to cost, and they somehow eat that. What is amazing about that, though, is it's in the back of my mind all the time. So before I press buy now, I go to Better World Books. Do they have it? If so, I get it from them. If it's a couple dollars extra, I don't care, because they do such good work
Yeah.
with their money. So my behaviors change. That's what
I
I'm
love that.
trying to say.
Yep.
And that has stayed constant.
Well, and because you're doing that, right? The goes back to your experience and that feeling. When you can find that find there and you can send it, not only is there, hey, this might not be a brand new book, but I'm sending it to you and let me give you the story behind how this book actually came to be and why it's coming from this place as opposed to a new copy or a used copy from Amazon. This actually not only hopefully will delight and amaze you because I'm sending it to you because I thought you'd enjoy it, but also at the same time, by extension, we both are helping the planet by utilizing this service. I think that's brilliant. Again, it
And
comes back down to
you
the
know,
feeling. I think for our listener that raised this question, it really does come down to, the resolutions. We won't fault you for making resolutions or setting these goals or objectives for yourself. And we think that, those things are great, but do it in a way that allows you to kind of think and envision what that feeling of the outcome will be when you get there. And then set some small rewards along the way so that you can, review your progress, understand, the journey you're on to, ultimately attain that. I think that helps drive that resolve, like we're talking about, but it also helps you really live in the moment and really, be in present with that experience along the way. And I think that the more you can do that, the more you start finding, hey, this isn't that hard, or this isn't maybe, maybe such a monumental mountain to climb. I will just, it's kind of like eat the elephant. How do you do it? One bite at a time, and we'll get there and enjoy the process as we do.
that's it. It's a behavioral change.
It is a
Consider
behavior.
that a behavioral change rather than a temporary change. You want to get healthy. I'm using that as an example. It's the
Yep.
easiest one. You want to get healthy, having resolved New Year's resolution to do X, Y, and Z over a period of time might get you healthy temporarily. Is it sustainable? A behavioral change and looking at the rewards that you get are like immeasurable. And
Yep.
that creates the behavioral change. It's just like it's sort of like, not just like, sort of like in our world, we went from throwing things out in the garbage, in the trash, I think you call it in the States, and now separating everything for composting and recycling and everything else automatically, no matter how small the piece of paper, it goes in the paper recycling.
Yeah.
It changed their behavior because we care about the planet. And we feel very good knowing that our actual waste, our trash is shrinking all the time. So that's a behavioral change that will benefit everybody
Yeah. Absolutely. And you
ultimately.
feel good doing it. Once you've done it and
That's
you
right.
get into the new habit, it becomes like it was no big deal. What are you asking me to do? An extra 30 seconds of, oh, it goes here versus there. I think everybody has that. And then when you feel like you're doing your part to contribute to the betterment of the world.
Yeah.
That's just, icing on the cake for sure. Well, Donna, this is a great way, I think, to, sort of look at wrapping up the year, right? As you're moving
Mhm.
towards the end of the year, we hope everybody had a phenomenal holiday. And hopefully, as you're setting your sights on January 1st, we're excited to kick off season 3 when we do. This is, we're so honored and privileged to have the opportunity to do this show and to be able to bring these topics to the table. Tell people in 2023 how they can get more active and involved with our community of emerging listeners and viewership.
The easiest way and the best way is to join our Facebook group, Inquiring Minds with Donna Carlin and Steve Harper. You could get us on our various podcasts. Just look up the same title and it'll steer you to the direction of the one that you use the most, and our YouTube channel. That's the easiest way. You could get us at our websites as well, ripplecentral.com for the king of ripplers, and I'm at Donna Carlin, Carlin with a K.com, and you could get us through there. The best way, though, is really our Facebook group. Join the conversation, introduce yourself, and I'm going to leave you with a couple of questions. What do you want to really have happen for you that will actually change your life in some way, shape, or form? And the second part of that is, and you're doing that for the sake of what? And when you answer those two questions, it's going to give you direction as to the resolve that you need to make that resolution.
Oh, that's excellent. I love that. What a great way to get people thinking and really taking action on this episode. So I want to thank that listener that raised this. This ended up being a really fantastic topic. Encourage you to get involved, as Donna indicated, on the various platforms that we're available on, and tell us what you'd like us to cover for topics just like this, in the new year. So we are so grateful. We wish everybody a very happy new year, and we will be back soon with another new episode. Until then, Donna, take care and Happy New Year.
You too.